Hey guys, welcome back to episode 8 of the Preseason Poopnaked Fantasy podcast. I feel like I change that around every single time I have a new episode. Hopefully these podcasts are getting a little bit more consistent, even though my delivery on the intro is quite lacking. Today we've got the third place team, Taylor Huss, Officer Huss. So we'll dive in, see if she's a contender, if she's more fraudulent, or if think she needs to rebuild it all. So looking at the bar graphs, always a good place to start. She is neck and neck with the people in the middle. So very, very even in terms of total value to someone like Aaron, who is a contender, and then someone like Alex, who is more of a rebuilder. So let's scroll down and see where, like how her position players shape out. Maybe that'll get a little bit more clarity on, whether she can make a push or, maybe projects to miss the playoffs and think about a rebuild. So going down here, we've got her roster, and it's kind of easy to see why she might be in the middle and more towards the fraudulent. We're in contender mode. If we were in rebuilder mode, she's still kind of in the middle around that number 5. So we'll leave it in contender mode for now. Started the quarterback position like always. She's got her homer pick in Jordan Love. Taylor is unfortunately a big Packers fan. So in addition to having a fraudulent football team, she also has to suffer through that every Sunday. But hey, at least Joe Buck loves your team. So maybe you love Jordan Love as much as you do. I think she has an interesting quarterback room. Jordan Love and Sam Howell certainly poised to take a jump in terms of value. Sam Howell is someone that I'm pretty excited about. 2 years ago, he had a very good profile at UNC. A lot of rushing upside there. He's got better weapons now, better OC. Probably my favorite quarterback on her team. Jordan Love, also very interesting. He did the Aaron Rodgers internship program over in Green Bay. It'll be interesting to see how he shakes out. Does the arm talent translate to the NFL? I think Taylor probably has the most interesting quarterback room, and it will probably shape how her season goes. If either of these 3 guys stagnate at all, I think she'll probably have a tough time. But if these young guys blossom and kind of show that they can hang in the league, I think she might be all right. Might be able to squeak into the playoffs, assuming everything else goes well. Let's go over to her tight end room. I love Pat Freiermuth. He is like probably right up there with Dallas Goedert for me, up in that 5-6 overall in terms of dynasty tight end values. He just does everything well. He's not a supreme athlete. He's not a supreme blocker, but he's just so smart. Like, you watch him and you can just tell he's a good football player. I would love having him as my tight end 1. He's never going to lose you a week. If their offense takes a step forward, he might prove to be an even better safety valve for Kenny Pickett. So I think solid player here. Ferguson, also pretty good upside tight end. Should be the tight end 1 in Dallas. Dak usually likes throwing to tight ends. We saw, what Dalton Schultz could do there over the last couple of years. I think Ferguson is an interesting one to watch. Same with Isaiah Likely. He showed that when Andrews goes down, he can step in and play at a pretty high level. I don't see Andrews really going anywhere. So it'll be hard to see, how does his value increase in dynasty? And then Hayden Hurst, I think he might be the starter in Carolina. So she might have 3 viable starting tight ends week over week. So overall, I think it's an underrated room, even though in terms of total rank in our league, it's pretty low. Her wide receivers are next. And this is probably I don't know. It's another puzzling one. Cooper Kupp, getting older, definitely has wide receiver 1 overall upside, dealing with that hamstring. I don't know that he'll be available for the first couple weeks of the season. If he misses extended time, he might do what Keenan Allen did last year, and where he missed the first half of the season. with that hamstring injury. I think if that happens, then Taylor's team is probably not going to be doing super hot. But she has a lot of good like wide receiver twos on her squad. Keenan Allen, no spring chicken, but I think he was a top 3 wide receiver when he was healthy last year. It's a shame that she can't have both of them healthy at the same time. It would be interesting to see how this team would perform week to week. Gabe Davis, I think, is a great flex. He's got that boom potential. He's got that win you weeks potential. We saw what he can do playoff game against Kansas City. I think he's probably more properly valued this year compared to last. Really interesting guy to watch. Same with Christian Kirk. Ridley being there has depressed his value, but he had good chemistry with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a solid wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. And then she's got Jordan Addison as the most valuable dynasty receiver on her squad. He should thrive opposite of JJ. The Vikings should be very pass heavy. Our defense is ass, so we should be throwing a ton. I love Jordan Addison. I think she got him at pick number 8, I think. I love him. I think it's a great value. He could easily be the best rookie receiver this year and spike in value if he puts up like even 800 yards as a rookie. I think would be great. So I think an underrated receiver room, but not a great one if you're wanting to be a contender, just because you don't know what Cooper Kupp's going to do this year. And then Keenan Allen after this year will probably decline in value just because I think he's already 31. Running back room. And this one kind of surprised me that she had the most valuable room overall. She has, absolute studs at the top. She has 2 top, probably 5 running backs at worst, in Barkley and Eckler. Aaron Jones is a very sneaky, like wide receiver 1. Be interesting to see if his usage as a receiver continues. I think, these 2, Jordan Love and Aaron Jones, will definitely correlate. If one thrives, the other is, if Jordan Love does really well, Aaron Jones is probably a running back 1. But if Jordan Love is not so great, he's probably more of like a high-end running back 3, if he's getting those passes. I love Khalil Herbert. I think Khalil Herbert is a very talented runner. Definitely limited in terms of upside. I would feel fine about having him as a flex play. These 3 guys, all premium handcuffs. If any one of their starters go down, these guys can easily be a flex and pop off. Tank Bigsby's probably my favorite guy on her squad. I loved his profile. I think he's shown well in the preseason. It'll be interesting to see what the split between him and ETN is. When I went to look at her draft picks, she's got all of them. So, her team's looking like it's stuck in the middle. It'll be interesting to see if she dips into this at all to try to add a couple pieces to make a playoff push. Kind of like Abe's team, probably no more once we get towards that midpoint of the season. That's where you can usually tell if your team is a playoff team or not. When I go down to league activity, I tried to find trades. I know she's done trades. When I toggle to her team, I can't find anything. It says she's made 2 trades, but nothing pops out. I'm guessing they must have, I thought they'd be in the rookie draft, but I really don't see anything other than the free agent ad. So I don't know if it's a glitch on Sleeper, but I wasn't able to find it on my phone either. So hard to really review anything on that end. So anyways, if I had to guess, I'd say Taylor's probably like a fringe playoff team. If Cooper Kupp comes back earlier than I expect, and if Keenan Allen picks up where he left off last season, I think her team will be fine. She's definitely going to lose some points week to week, I think, at the quarterback position. But she has the depth at her running back, and I think her wide receiver position to make up that gap. But I think she needs like perfect injury luck to do so. So I think this team will be very volatile. If you told me this was like the 4th place team, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me this was the 8th place team, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. So, really interesting to see how this shakes out. Best of luck to you, Taylor. I'll see you guys in the next episode.